This is James Crow with Lab 6 in Cybersecurity 503. Alright, I'm going to start with my Windows computer, and the first thing we want to do is get listening ports. So I'm going to use the netstat-a, which will give all active connections, and -n, which will give just the numbered IP addresses and ports, not do DNS resolving. Okay, you see all the listening ports as well as active connections. All right, so we want to output that to a file called win_output.txt. We'll just have it here on my desktop. Okay, you see that file's created. So next we want to get services that are running, and to do that we'll use the net start command. See all the services that are running, and there again we want to output that to the win_output.txt file. We'll append that. Alright, next we want the auto start programs, and so the command will be wmic startup, and we're just going to get the caption and command fields for brevity. Okay, see OneDrive security health and this Synaptics touchpad process. So there again we want to output those to the win_output.txt file. Alright, next we want to get the users on the system, just that'll be net users. There you see administrator, default, guest, James, test admin, test user, and whatever Western Digital utility account that is. So let's write those to the win_output file. Alright, and next members of the admin group. So net local group administrators. Alright, and you see administrator, James, and test admin account. That's one I set up for a previous lab. So we will append those to the win_output file. And then lastly, we just want to see scheduled tasks, and very simply, scheduled tasks. Alright, and this shows not only tasks that are scheduled, which is very few, a few application updates. Most of them you can see they're NA, disabled, or ready to be scheduled, but it shows all that are available. Okay, so we will append that to the output file. Alright, and now if we open this win_output file, we see the results of all of those commands. Okay, now I need to calculate the MD5 of my output file. That's going to be win_, okay, and then MD5. Alright, and here is the MD5 of my Windows output. Okay, the first task we want to do on the Linux machine is get listening ports, and we also want to get processes on those listening ports. So I'm going to combine those into the same command. I'm going to go netstat with the L and P switches that show the listening ports and the processes on those ports. Alright, and here we see them. Expand this a little bit, make it a little easier to read. Okay, so we see all the listening ports and the processes here in this column. Alright, so we want to put those into an output file. Alright, and here you see output file created on my desktop. Okay, the next task we want to do is view cron jobs that are scheduled. And so we want to use the cron tab-L, which lists, and I had to go in and specially create a cron job. This laptop gets wiped basically in between every class. Alright, so let's send that to that same output file. All right, and then finally we want to look at user accounts. So I'm just going to use the password file. All right, and we see accounts in order of creation. So same deal, we will write that to our output file. Now let's find out the MD5 hash of our file. And there it is, our Linux output file MD5 hash. Now that I've created the output files on each machine, I need to share the Linux file with the Windows box and the Windows file with the Linux box. So first, I'm going to share the Windows file with this Linux box. So I'm going to set up a listener, cat-l on port 1234, and it's going to bring in a file win_output.txt. Okay, now netcat is listening. Okay, now we're going to use netcat to send this file to my Linux box. Okay, I have received my win output file here. Okay, and let's get all right, and there is the MD5. Here is the MD5 hash of my Windows output file. Now we're going to set up a listener to receive the Linux file from the Linux box. Listener on port 1234 and the name of the file that we'll be getting. Okay, now we will use netcat to send the Linux file to the Windows box. And there we go. Now we've received the Linux file. All right, and we just need to check the MD5 hash. Okay, and there is our MD5 of our Linux. And that's it.